Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, let me start by saying this. You are not here by accident. You are here right now because your spirit is ready for a shift, and that shift begins with intention. Let me ask you something. How do you start your day? Because how you begin is how you become. And that, my friends, is the essence of what we call a priming exercise. The power of intention, you become what you believe. Priming is setting the mental tone of your day, intentionally shaping your emotions and mindset. Let me tell you something that most people overlook. Everything begins with intention. Not your calendar, not your to-do list, not even your first cup of coffee. Intention is the starting line of your inner world, and your outer life follows. Now, this isn't just some abstract idea or spiritual fluff. Psychologically speaking, what we focus on, we feel. The brain is a filtering machine, constantly scanning the environment for cues that match our expectations. And when you begin your day with a conscious choice what emotional state you want to live in, what values you want to embody, you prime your brain to look for the people, opportunities, and even challenges that align with that. Philosophers have said for centuries that we become what we repeatedly do. But in truth, we become what we repeatedly believe, especially about ourselves. That belief starts with the intentional act of setting your internal climate. Just like you wouldn't plant seeds in frozen ground, you can't grow into your highest self in a mental state of chaos or default mode. That's what priming interrupts. It disrupts the automatic, reactive programming and says, "No, today I choose to be awake. I choose to lead myself." And in that moment, those first few minutes of mindful intention, you are no longer simply living. You are creating. Here's the truth. If you don't set the tone for your day, the world will set it for you. So choose, and choose powerfully. Science-backed transformation research proves that priming exercises like gratitude, visualization, and breathing rewire your brain for success and joy. Let's ground this in something real, science, because while intention is the soul of priming, neuroscience is its structure. And here's the fascinating truth. Your brain isn't just a storage center for memories. It's a prediction machine. Every morning, it wakes up scanning for patterns, trying to forecast what kind of day you're going to have. And the kicker is, it uses yesterday's emotions and your first thoughts today as data. That's where priming becomes transformative. Neuroscientific studies show that when you engage in focused practices, like gratitude, visualization, deep breathing, you're not just thinking positive. You are activating specific neural pathways that influence emotion, decision making, and even immune response. Gratitude stimulates the prefrontal cortex and releases dopamine. Visualization ignites the same neural networks used in real action. It's not wishful thinking, it's neuroplasticity. You're reshaping the way your brain fires and therefore how you experience reality. And philosophically, this means something profound. We are not prisoners of our past wiring. The human mind is malleable. We are each day given the chance to be co-authors of our own emotional experience. Priming isn't about pretending life is perfect. It's about preparing yourself to meet life with purpose, not panic. So the next time someone says, "That's just how I am," I want you to remember that's just how they've been primed to be. Change your pattern, and you change your possibilities. Start your day, start your life. A priming routine is not just about mornings. It's about mastering your mindset to own your day, and ultimately, your life. Let's talk about mornings not just in terms of routines, but in terms of identity. Because how you begin your day is not just about productivity. It's about alignment. Every single morning is a new negotiation between who you've been and who you're becoming. And priming, when done with purpose, becomes the bridge between the two. It's not simply a way to get focused. It's how you reclaim authorship of your life, one day at a time. Think about it. The moment you wake up, your mind is in a state called Thay, a highly suggestible, deeply impressionable. That's not random. That's biology giving you a window to program your emotional reality. If you check your phone, scroll through negativity, or step into stress first thing, your body learns to normalize anxiety as your baseline. But when you prime with intention, gratitude, breathwork, visualization, you teach your nervous system to ground itself before the chaos begins. That shift matters, because if you can guide the first few moments of your day, you're not just changing your mood, you're changing your mental momentum. Over time, this isn't just a practice. It's an identity. You begin to see yourself not as someone reacting to life, but as someone creating it moment by moment. So this isn't about mornings. It's about mastery of your mind, your emotions, your energy. Don't just start your day. Start becoming who you were meant to be. From reaction to creation, priming takes you from a reactive life to a creative one. You stop responding to the world and start designing it. Most people are living in reaction. They wake up, check their messages, scroll through headlines, and instantly, without even realizing it, they're letting the outside world dictate their internal state. That's not freedom, that's conditioning. But what if I told you that priming is the way out of that loop? That through a few conscious minutes each morning, you could stop reacting and start creating. At its core, priming is about agency. It's about choosing your emotional posture before the world chooses it for you. This is where psychology meets philosophy. The Stoics taught that we cannot control external events, but we can control our response. Modern neuroscience now backs that up. By directing your thoughts first thing in the day, you influence the neural circuits that shape perception and emotion throughout it. When you prime, you're not waiting to see how the day will unfold. You're saying, this is who I am today. This is what I stand for. This is the state I bring to whatever happens next. That small act of self-leadership shifts your entire relationship to the world. You no longer need perfect conditions to feel calm or purposeful. You bring those qualities with you. And that, my friends, is power. Not the kind that controls others, but the kind that governs self. You weren't born to live in reaction. You were born to live on purpose, so stop waiting, start choosing. Small ritual, big shift, even just 10 minutes a day of focus priming can create a massive difference in your energy, focus, and emotional resilience. One of the most liberating truths we often overlook is that transformation doesn't require a total overhaul. It begins with small, consistent shifts, micro movements that ripple into macro change. That's what makes priming so profound. It doesn't take hours. You don't need a guru or a retreat in the mountains. You need 10 minutes, 10 intentional minutes where you create emotional clarity, mental focus, and physical stillness before the world starts asking things from you. And don't confuse simple with shallow. Simplicity is power in its purest form. A few minutes of deep breathing regulates your nervous system. Naming 3 things you're grateful for rewires your brain toward abundance. Visualizing 1 act of courage conditions your subconscious to choose boldness over fear. These are small rituals, but they build a resilient, grounded, forward-moving identity. Here's the psychology behind it. The human brain craves repetition. What you do often becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes how you behave. That's why priming, though brief, carries so much weight. It doesn't just help you feel better. It helps you become better, stronger, more aware, more anchored in who you are and what you're here to do. You're not waiting for life to hand you peace or confidence. You're practicing it. Big change rarely announces itself. It arrives quietly, in small choices made consistently. So give yourself those 10 minutes every day. Without fail, Empowerment through consistency, like brushing your teeth. This is a daily hygiene for your soul. It's not magic. It's momentum, and momentum creates miracles. Let me remind you of something we too often forget in the noise of daily life. Your mind needs maintenance. Just like your body needs rest, like your teeth need brushing, your emotional and mental state needs consistent care. And that's what priming truly is, a daily hygiene for your inner world. Not a luxury, not a motivational moment. A necessity. We often look at people who are calm under pressure, who radiate clarity, who seem unshaken, and we assume it's natural. It's not, it's practiced, it's earned. Through small, steady rituals repeated over time, they've conditioned their nervous system and trained their attention to return again and again to a place of purpose. This is where discipline meets freedom. Because when you prime regularly, even when you don't feel like it, even when the morning is rushed or your mood is low, you build the muscle of emotional leadership. And that consistency creates momentum. Momentum builds identity, and identity drives action without needing to constantly motivate yourself from scratch. The truth is, no one drifts into greatness. No one accidentally becomes centered, grateful, and focused. That is a cultivated state, and it's yours to claim, not once, but daily. So stop waiting for the right feeling to show up. Prime yourself, and the feeling will follow. Do it daily, not because life is always good, but because you always can be.